Coming up next on Yes, We're Open. We'll meet some Sacramento sisters taking their enterprise to a higher gear. A Placerville man's two biggest passions are forged with his business. A local couple helps the world discover fermented tea. A Sacramento woman rescues parrots and teaches others to embrace her feathered friends. And entrepreneurs bring the escape room craze to Modesto.
Would you guys like a clue?
Yes!
It's all up next on Yes, We're Open.
Yes, We're Open is made possible by...
Your business has big dreams, and you need a partner who can help you reach them. SAFE has customized financial solutions plus local professional experts to help your business grow. Get a bigger business plan and change the way you bank at safecu.org.
TEAMride is a 45-minute total party. The music is pumping in here. You're in a packed room of 50. You're getting sweaty.
You can explain it all you want, but until you actually get in here, feel the energy, feel the music, and be on a bike, like to the beat, it's like nothing you've experienced.
4, 3, 2, 1, slow it down. Yeah. All right.
TEAMride is a full-body indoor cycling studio.
We've taken the general spin concept, but then obviously put it to music, so everything is to the beat. And then we added a whole upper body component, so you're targeting your abs and your arms the whole time.
Right here, right now, TEAMride. We breathe and we push.
TEAMride is a family affair owned by 4 sisters from Sacramento.
TEAM stands for Teresa, Elena, Alicia, Michelle.
Alicia, who is the A in TEAM, is not currently here in Sacramento. She resides in Seattle, Washington with her husband and 3 children. I know going into a business with family, they say, is the worst idea. And there are days where maybe I agree with that. But most of the time, it's like we love each other through and through. We know we're gonna get through it, and our strengths outweigh any negatives I see.
I think there's something to be said for being able to be your truest self with your business partners. It's the foundation.
Yeah.
But that tight-knit foundation was shattered nearly a decade ago with the passing of their father.
When our dad died, it crushed us, but we bonded together as sisters who had a dad who believed in each and every one of us with all of his heart. And so we've taken that, held it firm in our hearts, and created something that I know he'd be proud of. We carry his spirit every day within these walls of the studio.
The idea of starting a business that was focused on fitness felt so right for us, because we were raised in a very, we were active as children. Our mother is very healthy just as a person, so it just felt right.
But as with almost any new enterprise, there were a few early setbacks.
I got nervous and said, what the heck are we doing? Like,
Well, yeah, because you pulled out multiple times.
Oh, so many times.
Oh my God.
I was like, please let me go, this is too scary.
But then when she saw we weren't stopping, she thought, how can I not be a part of a business with my sisters?
Exactly.
And we kind of knew, we're like, okay, she's having her freak out moment.
Yeah.
She'll come around, and
We'll
it lasts
give her
like
a
maybe
moment.
24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Michelle's challenge? She lived in New York and thought she could help run the business from afar. Her sisters didn't quite see it that way.
They gave me an ultimatum, and they said, if you don't move home, we're not opening the business. They've said there's no way. And so I bawled my head off, and I was like, all right, I'm moving home. I think
She was really angry for a while.
Yeah, I was not happy for a solid 6 months.
We call those the dark days.
Yeah. Now we're 3.5 years in,
Yeah.
and I love it. The sacrifice was worth it.
Everything feels like trial and error. It doesn't feel like there's a handbook out there that says you have to do this and then you have to do this. There are no guidelines. So everything feels just on us. The pressure is really on us all the time.
I think a business challenge too is just keeping our staff on a similar page.
That kind of thing was something I didn't even think about. I just thought we're gonna open our doors and like people will come and like it's all gonna work out.
It's just beyond exciting to feel like we are at the head of a business that is thriving and that has limitless potential. The level of support in the community for us and for TEAMride is unbelievable. It really has taken on a life of its own. This is more than just a workout. This is a community. This is joy. This is gratitude.
The energy is so just electric. Like, you come in here, everybody's so happy, so free, so like ready to just get in there and sweat and have a good time. And then when you leave, everybody's like, yeah, have a good day. I never leave a class unhappy, never, ever.
When you're in class, you hear like, I see you, Taylor.
I see you, Taylor.
And like all sorts of stuff, and it just feels like I'm cycling with my friends and with my family. So that's what brings me back. It's just the community and the people here.
Let's get some water right here.
I basically thank God every day for my sisters, and I honestly think this is us living our best lives. We get to do everything we want to do. Yes, we work super hard, and yes, the business is our everything, but I don't think any of us would trade what we have for any other type of life.
Welcome to Parrot Planet. This is a parrot wonderland that was a dream of mine that I've brought into reality through a long, circuitous route that I didn't know I was intended to take. I welcome everybody because this is the commonality, the love of birds. I have to say, not a day goes by in this store when there isn't some kind of melodrama. Always. Yeah, I get no respect. I get no respect. What happened last night when I wasn't here? I thought so. You were a part of it, weren't you? Were you part of the debauchery and the partying? We do grooming, you know, wings, nails. We do boarding. We offer them the choice. Either their bird can stay in the cage. I'm doing the talking here. Do you mind? I really, really try hard to match up the right bird with the right home. It's a little bit like maybe a birdie dating service. Just about any bird they want, I have access to acquiring. Obviously, if they want an emu, I'm not the person. I want this to be an experience where people can handle parrots, where they can interact with them and maybe feel what I felt, that connection. Like with me, I didn't know it until I met a parrot. It was in 1989, I remember the year. My husband bought a parrot from a mall, and he brought it home, and I thought, why did you get a parrot? I have no idea why. He said he thought he looked cute. And I was an animal lover, but I was mostly into horses. So I walked up to this parrot and I looked at him, and he put his head down for me to scratch him, and I scratched him. But really, it was a transformation. It was like literally being struck by something, some kind of epiphany. And I'll never forget it. And from that moment, I became totally obsessed with parrots. I really did. And I had no idea that I even had that capacity in me to love birds like that. But after I got Ollie and I would take him with me everywhere, I would attract attention. People would walk up and say, hey, my friend has a bird and they can't keep it anymore, and would you like it? And of course I would say yes, and I started accruing a lot of birds. Then I started to do parrot rescue, where I would actually rehabilitate these parrots and rehome them. And it happened so much that I thought, is there a need for education? I thought if I had my own store and I could educate people myself as to what they're in for, because a lot of these incidences that took place was not due to cruelty, it was due to ignorance. People not understanding parrots and how complicated they are, how long they live. They can really be jerks. And they can be the most amazing companion a person could ever have. But people have to know what they're getting into. You have to put in some work to develop a bond with your bird, but once that bond is there, it's really, really powerful, really powerful. And I've seen it in my customers who get birds.
This is my feathered kid, or as we bird people call them, our fids. Her name is Calypso. The first time I saw her, I'm scratching her head and her neck, and she's falling asleep in my hands. And I just said, oh my gosh, she's stealing my heart. I love this baby. I knew from that moment this baby was mine.
Amigo, there's one of your best friends.
My friends and acquaintances call me the crazy bird man. Dana gives me the term that I have macaw mojo, because I can go up to almost any macaw and kind of sense what mood it's in. Once you have a bird, it's like a potato chip. You just can't have one.
This bench right here, this is like our second home. We're here a lot.
She's one of us now.
We're like, oh, we'll just stop in for a few minutes. But like a few minutes turns into a few hours. I always think how lucky we are to have this place. It's just amazing.
This store is me. I want people to get the bird experience if they're going to be here, because that's what it is. It's an experience, it really is. And it can be a life-changing one.
There's steel that I have cussed. There's steel that I have praised. There's some steel that I'm still trying to figure out what to do with. This innate object has a life. Some steel has but to whisper and you know what to do with it. You get it a little bit hot and then, oh, okay, this steel is good for this job. I know what it's telling me. That's a relationship with the steel. It's telling me, okay, it's good for this, but maybe not for that. So I separate them based on the feedback I get.
Aaron Simmons is a one-man band. He's a blacksmith who forges an assortment of tools used in the farrier trade, a line of work he knows very well. He's also a farrier, shoeing horses for a living.
Most of the farriers, which is specific for horseshoeing, they don't do the blacksmithing work so much. They can make a shoe, which is common, but they won't make tools or hammers. It's become a lot more specialized craft. 90% of my tools are handmade. What we're looking at here is just a small portion of what I've come up with to make my trade a little easier.
It wasn't until he was a teenager that Aaron first stumbled upon the ancient art of blacksmithing at a bicycle shop.
The bike shop had an actual blacksmith that worked in the basement making bicycles. But when I saw this little old Italian man down in the basement of the bicycle shop with his torch lit and a little fire, and he's cutting steel and brazing tubes together, and it's in his own jig that he built, and he's making a bicycle frame. That was a revelation. Something clicked.
Or sparked, especially when Aaron went to school at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to study crop and animal science. While there, he took a farrier course so he could shoe his own horses. That led to shoeing for other horse owners, and eventually, his own business. Other farriers saw his handmade tools and started asking for them too.
For me, the actual craft puts an artistic stamp on your work that no machine can. Some of the curves and lines that your eye will see are not from machine work. It's from the delicate art that a person's hands deliver. I was born, they always say, about 150 years too late. I don't know why that is, but I think I would have done all right there.
I came up with the idea.
We had just started dating.
Cheers. We were walking in Midtown Sacramento, and I thought, why don't we open up a Kombucha bar here in Sacramento?
Kombucha is a fermented tea made from a live culture of probiotics.
So many people didn't know about it, and you tell them a fermented tea, and they're thinking, what is this? I don't want your fermented tea. Where's my Coke or Pepsi? So we've really kind of tried to take it out of what I call the hippie realm into a little bit more of a mainstream product. We started a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter didn't go very well.
Dismal failure.
Yeah, very, very bad. But it was a good thing. It really was a blessing because then we kind of reevaluated things.
We decided we wanted to go mobile, to bring kombucha to people rather than trying to get them to come to us.
So we built this trailer behind us, spent 6.5 months restoring it into a custom 1950s trailer.
We found the trailer on Craigslist in Reading, and we had to go pick up this horse trailer in Reading.
We had to tow the trailer back. We had to get a trailer to tow the trailer. It was just shot.
Yeah.
When I brought the trailer back to my friends, we stored it there. First thing he said was, "Oh, Joey, what have you done?"
And I think our family members and friends thought we were a little crazy too. I don't really remember questioning it a whole lot. We knew what we wanted to do.
That's what really started the entire business and made us really a legitimate company where, you know, we weren't just going door to door asking people if they wanted kegs of kombucha. People were coming to us.
And then we were approached when we were out on events by restaurants, grocery stores, and that's how the distribution started. And now the whole thing has flipped on its side.
Completely different.
We had no idea we were going to distribute when we first started this. That wasn't even part of it.
We distribute kombucha in kegs, just kind of picture draft beer. Same idea. We do that for 6 California kombucha brands. We're just customize them for what the client wants. And then we provide everything they need to be able to then serve this at the locations. We'll deliver to the Sacramento Kings at Sleep Train Arena. They have a system for their employees. Our customers are everything from your mom and pop all the way up to some of the largest corporations in the world. It's very overwhelming, and it can eat you alive if you let it.
He's a big proponent of not letting the fear get the best of you, and that was a huge lesson I learned from him through all of this, because I never would have done this on my own, never.
We've heard the, oh, don't go into business with your wife or your girlfriend, and I'm just thinking, like, who else would I want to go into business? There's no one else that I would want to go into business with more than her. Honestly, she really gave me a lot of just stability.
And he gave me excitement. Like, I was so stable, I bored myself. So, it was like, oh, this is so fun. We're gonna start a company together.
Yeah, she really just calmed me down, and from then on, it just everything fell into place.
Yeah.
It just really did.
Time management, communication, willpower are all about to be tested on these 6 brave volunteers.
Welcome to Escape Modesto, guys. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna go over the rules, the do's and don'ts of the room.
The fun really starts once they walk in the door. We want them to really be engrossed in this situation. We want them to feel like they're not just watching a movie, they're actually participating in the activity. You've all been framed, and you're locked in a maximum security prison awaiting execution for a crime you didn't commit. It's been rumored that inmates in the past have escaped, and they've left behind clues of how they did it. The prison guard is going to return in 1 hour. The question is, will you be able to piece together the clues in your cell and escape before he returns and leads you to your unjust execution? 3 of you have already broken out of your cells, and you've rendered the guard on duty unconscious. 2 of you are still locked in your prison cell, and 2 of you are still handcuffed in the booking area. So the goal here is for you all to escape the prison in 1 hour. So you guys can follow me, and we will enter the prison. 70% of the people don't make it out, but 100% of the people have an amazing time, and that's our goal.
Oh man!
What this group of colleagues is participating in is one of the latest forms of group entertainment. They're called escape rooms. Sari, Salim, and Samer Mitri are the 3 brothers behind Escape Modesto.
The idea of the business was very random. I just happened to be in Greece last summer, and I was visiting a friend there, and he'd mentioned we should go do an escape room. I'd never heard of the idea before, but it sounded like a lot of fun.
Modesto is definitely needing something like this. I mean, there's a million things to do for kids, and if you're an adult, you could go to the movies, you could go to the bar, and that's pretty much it.
They moved ahead with their plan and eventually found an office space in the heart of downtown Modesto.
When we were building and designing the rooms, we had kind of divided up roles, but we all took part in the other roles. For example, Sari did planning of clues, and Salim did a lot of the building of the designs that we wanted to do, and I did the setup of like our microphones, or
audio, electrical work,
stuff like that.
Well, I had a really good idea. We were going to light the whole room with just electric candles like these. We have 3 escape rooms, King Tut's treasure room. We have the prison break, and then CSI Modesto being the most challenging room we have.
We can see them and hear them all the time. We have cameras and microphones in the room.
So here are your whiteboards, the markers for you to take notes, the walkie-talkie again is just for me to talk to you. You guys want to use that, so if you guys want to get in the cell, we will get started. You'll have 1 hour from when I start the timer.
I think as long as we kind of stay on target and are just looking for clues and we're not kind of getting sidelined by things that aren't clues but look like they are clues, I think we're going to be good.
I think as long as we communicate well, we don't try and shout over each other about our personal clues and just try and do a lot more listening than talking, I think everything will work out.
Communication is key.
It's super important. That's why so many companies come do their team building events with us, because it gives their employees or their staff an opportunity to work together and to communicate. You guys have 1 hour. Good luck and have fun.
Okay, there's a locked box in here. We need numbers. There's a combination on here.
Just trying to read the directions and move the handset. I did that. Let me get a fresh set of eyes on that.
Yeah, we give them like a discovery phase.
Yeah,
of time.
About 10 minutes is where we usually give them a clue if they haven't done anything.
It's not coming together just yet, but we're communicating super well, so I think we're onto something. We haven't wasted much time.
Would you guys like a clue?
Yes.
Okay, the inmates have been known to hide things in their bunks.
Toss that cell.
They're not going to find it because she's sitting on it. Stopping the clue from being found.
I mean, you see it over and over and over again, different people, but the same obstacles, and clues staring them right in the face, and they look at it for 5 seconds, they seem very perplexed, and then they just go the other way, and it's really fun.
All right, fine. I have a Ken Anderson book.
Oh, yes!
16 minutes.
Yes! That makes so much sense.
Adults have more fun here than the kids do at Disneyland.
Oh, we got a key.
We have a key!
So the note...
And you hear the cheering and the excitement and the screaming when they have that sense of accomplishment that they open something and they're so excited.
I tried to put it in like...
And 1 second later they realize they just opened up a new puzzle and a new challenge. And now they have something else to do and there's only 2 minutes left and they're frantic and they want to get out. I think we should turn.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
opening their doors back in October of 2015, the response from the community has been very positive, and the business is booming.
We are bringing people in from Sonora, Merced, Stockton, Turlock, and from Modesto, bringing tax dollars in from all these other cities, spending their money here, and then almost every group eats at a restaurant before or after they come here. It's super rewarding hearing how many people constantly thank us. Like, thank you for bringing this into Modesto, and this is so great. Modesto's needed something like this. That feeling that you're able to give people is really just second to none.
You can purchase a DVD or Blu-ray copy of this program. To order, just visit us online or call 888-814-3923.
This is my wardrobe and makeup person here. She has a fascination with human men.
Yeah, they need a lot of help.
At the end of the day, you're really not in control of much, and it's just being able to really just kind of flow with things.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes, We're Open is made possible by...
Your business has big dreams, and you need a partner who can help you reach them. SAFE has customized financial solutions plus local professional experts to help your business grow. Get a bigger business plan and change the way you bank at safecu.org.